you doing? Good morning, beloveds. I'm just all kinds of mess this morning. Sunglasses, headband, cat. It's Monday, so I got up and went to meet my trainer in his garage. He had a new piece of equipment, so I got to learn a new thing. Called it a preacher curl, and I was just like, all right, I don't understand why it's called preacher curl, and I didn't think to ask at the time. Sometimes they have logical names and sometimes they don't. You're just left going, I don't understand. And Sugar's fascinated because the heat just came on. That's what she's looking around at. But it was a good workout, and I was most of the way through the workout, and I clicked along and got it done. And got everything done, and he's like, well, you're not complaining about your knee and your hip today. And I'm like, yeah, my knee's not bothering me, and I'm aware of my hip, but so I was just like, okay, you gonna get down? And there she goes. I pick her up, and then she wants to climb up on my shoulder. And so I sit down, and she's up there on my shoulder, and I'm doing this, and then she's done, and then she's gone. She's a cat. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I know it was her and her sister were fighting with each other, and it's just like, at 4 o'clock in the morning. All right. Okay. I have made a whole lot of progress on my YouTube channel. I'm not moving. I'm not deleting them from the Creative Life page, but what I'm doing is I'm moving them to I am copying them to the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel, so that at the end of this I will have all 365 readings and my thoughts on them on the YouTube channel. And what my intention is then, hopefully, is God help me, this social media thing I just dove all in. There's a Running Rev Ryan Facebook page, and my goal is that once I'm done with this, I will pick a new book, and I will go back and I'll do a new book for Creative Life. But what I can do is then I can take the 365 from the YouTube channel and share it to the Running Rev Ryan page. So if you've really enjoyed this book and want to do it again, it will be available to you in a variety of ways. You can go to the YouTube channel and look it up, or I will share it to the Running Rev Ryan Facebook page. And then we'll go from there. I already have the new book, but I'm not going to start the new book until the end, until basically April. Because I started this the last week of March, and I just want to make sure that I have all 365 of them. Yikes. But it is January 18th, and our title is The Argument That Wins, and our Bible quote is, He that saith, he that saith he is in the light, and hateth his brother, is in darkness. He that loveth his brother abideth in the light. 1 John 2, 9 and 10. All right. When St. John said that it is impossible for us to remain in the light while we hate someone else, he was pointing out the same truth that Jesus had in mind when he said for us to forgive that we might be forgiven. We should not expect the law of good to operate for us alone, shutting all others out. It is only that which we share with others that really is ours. We are so constituted that when we think evil of others or condemn them, it is impossible to escape this condemnation ourselves. This is why Jesus said, "Judge not, that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged." Everything that goes out comes back again. Our thoughts and acts move in circles. I bless myself for the good that I would do, and I bless everyone for the good they would do. I recognize the presence of God at the center of my own being, and I know that the divine spirit within me responds to the same spirit in others, comforting, unifying, and making whole. There is no criticism, no false judgment, no unkindness in me. My whole thought and feeling is one of praise, of thanksgiving, and of blessing. Today, I live as though this moment were eternity. I recognize that the kingdom of good is at hand. Seeing the divine in everything, I know that the divine in all things responds to me. Receiving the silent blessing of the Spirit, I permit this blessing to enrich the life of everyone I meet, to bring comfort, faith, and good cheer to everyone I contact. I walk in that light in which there is no darkness, in that love in which there is no fear, in that life in which there is no death. Wow, there is a whole lot in this one. There is a whole lot in this one. All right. I'm not sure about the title, The Argument That Wins. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. And I'm going to, when I read the Bible quote the second time, I'm going to drop the He that said he is in the light and hates his brother is in darkness, and he that loves his brother abides in the light. And honestly, that makes sense. I quoted it. Okay, today is Martin Luther King Day, and one of the more famous quotes from Martin Luther King is that quote of, hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. And so if you are harboring that very strong emotion, hate, then you are still in darkness. And it's going to take love to remedy that. Now, anger is an acceptable, I hate to use that word. Anger is an emotion that we have that is neither good nor bad. It is what we do with it that can give it labels. Hate just, there's absolutely no use for that at all. Yeah. Just sitting here, I'm ticking through the things. It's like, you can hate what they do, but even that, it's like, even that's too strong. There are things that people do that we don't like, but to hate them, that's too big of a burden to bear. Hate is just too big of a burden to bear. And again, I believe I'm agreeing with Martin Luther King there. Hate is too big of a burden to bear, and so I will choose love. And I don't think I quoted that exactly right, but all right. When St. John said that it is impossible for us to remain in the light while we hate someone else, he was pointing out the same truth that Jesus had in mind when he said for us to forgive that we might be forgiven. And I'm just gonna fall down onto the line of hate is too big of a burden to bear. You can choose, you can prefer, you can do all of this, but hate, that's just a poison that eats you from the inside out. That's one of those where it would be better to let go. And I'm going to use the word forget. I mean, if somebody stirs you up enough to hate them, then you put them out of your mind. And you are welcome to put them out of your life. Yes, we're all one, and yes, we should love one another, but yeah. Don't hate someone, but you are allowed to let them exit your life. You don't have to keep inviting them back, if that makes sense. Okay. We should not expect the law of good to operate for us alone, shutting all others out. That core principle of science of mind. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. So if there were someone that I hated, the good that I want for myself, I still am obligated to want it for them, which is why I said hate is just a poison that eats you from the inside out. And that's one of the reasons why they say that one of the best revenges is to live a good life. It's like if somebody stirs you up that much, then you forget them and you go live your best life. And just don't even think about them anymore. It is only that which we share with others that is really ours. Okay, I'm going to read that again. It is only that which we share with others that is really ours. I'm not sure what to do with that. That is one I'm going to take into meditation. I don't know. I don't have a good example for that this time. If you have come up with one, let me know. We are so constituted that when we think evil of others or condemn them, it is impossible to escape this condemnation for ourselves. This is why Jesus said, "Judge not, that ye be not judged." I think that's a little bit of taking the rod out of the beam out of our own eye before we take this. We criticize the speck in our neighbors. We're going to be held to the standards that we hold others to. So if you want them to cut you some slack, you have to cut them some slack. And sometimes, well, because I talked about it yesterday, the difference between judgment and discernment. Because judgment definitely has feeling behind it. And frequently it's an icky feeling. And discernment is evidence-based and generally made in the idea of keeping everyone safe. Not just you, but everyone. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. Everything that goes out comes back again. Our thoughts and acts move in circles. We've also heard this called karma. We've also heard this called reciprocity. It's called the rule of three. What you send out, you get back threefold. Which then occasionally makes you stop and go, oh, wow. So when you look at your life around you, if it's falling apart, what are you sending out? And the other thing about judgment is if you're so busy judging other people, then you're not taking care of your own life. Sometimes it's best just to let people live their lives and you take care of your own stuff. I would say keep your head down and stay in your own lane. But that only works to a point because we are a community and we do want to assist each other in community. So there's that. But when it comes to judgment, that really is one of those where it probably is a good idea to keep your head down and stay in your own lane. I bless myself for the good I would do, and I bless everyone for the good they would do. I recognize the presence of God at the center of my own being, and I know that the divine spirit within me responds to that same spirit in others, comforting, unifying, and making whole. Which is one of the reasons why when I sometimes will say, look into each other's eyes and see God looking back at you, especially when you're looking in the mirror. Recognizing the oneness. When you meet each other when we meet each other as children of God, we behave differently, we act differently, we feel differently. And when we feel different, we respond different. So it's like I think it's Emerson, Jove nods to Jove, or Namaste, the God in me, the God in me recognizes the God in you. Well, if we're recognizing that each other as the children of God and we're recognizing each other as godlings, then it's going to be comforting, unifying, and making whole, because we are recognizing, oh, that's another part of me. That being and I are from the same source. And that's wholeness. Not other, a different expression of the same. There is no criticism or false judgment, no unkindness in me. Now that's a power statement. It's like, okay, this is how I'm going to walk in the world today. There is no criticism, no false judgment, and no unkindness in me. I'm stating that as a fact, and I'm going to act as if until it is. My whole thought and feeling is one of praise, of thanksgiving, and of blessing. So I'm turning away from this, and I'm turning towards this, because this is who I want to be. And this is God's idea of me. This isn't. This is a mess. And I don't want to be that anymore. I want to be this. I want to be God's idea of me. And God's idea of me is one of praise, thanksgiving, and blessing. God's idea of me, God's idea of you, is one of love. Today, I live as though this moment were eternity. I recognize that the kingdom of good is at hand. I open my eyes, I look around me, and I go, oh yeah, this is God's stuff. The kingdom surrounds me. It is merely waiting for me to open my eyes and see it. And as I see it, so too then can I hold it for others. Seeing the divine in everything, I know that the divine in all things responds to me. If I see it and I recognize it, then it responds to me. And then I see more of it. Receiving the silent blessing of the Spirit, I permit this blessing to enrich the life of everyone I meet. I receive the blessing, and then I share this blessing with everyone I meet, which may be, if we go back to, it is only that which we share with others that is really ours, and that may be what he's talking about. This blessing that I am recognizing around me, the divine constantly around me, the only way that I can truly own that blessing is to recognize that we all share that blessing. Boom, I think I got it. I'm going to go with that explanation for today. I permit this blessing to enrich the life of everyone I meet, to bring comfort, faith, and good cheer to everyone I contact. I walk in that light in which there is no darkness, in that love in which there is no fear, and in that life in which there is no death. Wow. All right, Ernest. Oof. I don't know. I'm not sure which argument we're winning, but maybe it's the argument for wholeness. So our mission, should we choose to accept it today, is to bless ourselves for the good that we would do and bless everyone else for the good that they would do. Just today, for today, bless everyone you meet. And it's as simple as that. You just look at them and say to yourself, I bless you. I bless you in the name of love. I bless you in the name of God. I bless you in that, whatever it is that makes you feel that little spark, I bless you in the name of. So, I encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that is, whatever it looks like to you today. I encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body. It's going to be almost 70 degrees today. It's going to be a beautiful day. You may or may not want to open your windows. I know it was in the mid-60s yesterday, so we did open our windows for a little bit yesterday, and it was good, and the cats really enjoyed it. But please open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven now, that heaven surrounds you, awaiting your recognition of it. Just as spirit constantly surrounds you, it flows in you and around you and through you. You are spirit in motion. You are God in motion. You truly are the hands, the feet, and the loving heart, and the listening ear of God. And more than that, you are the beloved child of God, in whom spirit is well pleased, always. So please, look in your own eyes and see spirit looking back at you. And know that spirit looks back at you in love. Because that is truly God's idea of you. Love. All right. I'm going to move into the process of my day. I'm going to remind you that Reverend David will be on with you around 5 p.m. today. And I will be back with you at... and I just blinked out. 9 a.m. tomorrow. All right, beloveds. Have a wonderful day. And know you truly are a blessing.